John Donvan, InADifferentKey, The Story of Autism. Dive into the fascinating world of autism and its history with the summary of InADifferentKey, The Story of Autism, by John Donvan. This book navigates the perceptions, misconceptions, and treatments of autism throughout history, examining the early 20th century treatment of the mentally ill and the emergence of the term autism, coined by Dr. Leo Kanner. It also explores the unfortunate refrigerator mother theory and the controversy surrounding vaccination and autism. Get ready for an enlightening exploration of the spectrum of autism and the journey of acceptance and understanding.
Historical attitudes towards mental illness. Mental illness has been regarded differently throughout history. 15th century Russia saw the mentally ill as holy fools, while early 20th century America coined the term mentally defective and institutionalized them. The eugenics movement promoted the sterilization and even mercy killing of those with disabilities. We must understand the past to better treat mental health in the present. The diagnosis of a mysterious condition. Mary and Beeman triplets' life changed after the birth of their son, Donald, who displayed peculiar behaviors such as language abnormalities, emotional detachment, and violent outbursts. Despite the lack of information, Dr. Leo Kanner diagnosed Donald's mysterious condition after years of observation, leading to the first identification of autism. The origins of autism diagnosis and controversies. A brief history of autism diagnosis, its original diagnostic criteria outlined in a 1943 paper by Kanner, and controversies surrounding its cause and treatment. In 1943, Dr. Leo Kanner published a paper that laid the groundwork for autism diagnosis. He described a condition in 11 children, with Donald as the first documented case. Kanner defined autism as a lack of effective contact, a pronounced preference for isolation, and an insistence on reliable routines. Kanner emphasized that these traits should exist in individuals with unimpaired intellect and health. Autism, he argued, was not a new condition, but a previously unidentified one. Kanner's paper also introduced a now discredited theory that parents, particularly mothers, caused autism in their children. Bruno Bettelheim, a non-physician who headed the University of Chicago's orthogenic school, promoted this theory during the 1950s and 1960s. He interpreted children's behavior and speech patterns, such as one child's fixation on the word weather, as signs of mother-induced dysfunction. Bettelheim claimed that treatment at his facility, away from the mother, could cure autistic children. Despite this theory's eventual refutation, it caused widespread social stigma in the decades that followed. Nonetheless, Kanner's work and observations remain vital to effective autism diagnosis. Today, autism is recognized as a neurodevelopmental disorder with distinct genetic and environmental factors, and various assistive interventions are available to affected individuals. Fighting against autism stigma. A mother's activism helped promote a new understanding of autism and fight the prevalent belief that bad parenting caused the disorder. Ruth Sullivan's son Joe was diagnosed with autism in the 1960s, and specialists trained by Kanner blamed Sullivan for his condition. Despite being advised to stay away from literature on autism, Sullivan helped found the National Society for Autistic Children, which provided families across the United States with resources to communicate and organize. Sullivan composed letters and petitions for lawmakers and forged relationships with researchers and administrators through her activism. She eventually collaborated with Dr. Bernard Rimland, who confirmed that there was no scientific data or evidence to support the idea that bad parenting caused autism. Through Sullivan's efforts, the prevailing attitude of discrimination against autistic children began to change to one of tolerance and acceptance. Autism myths dispelled. Despite past controversies, myths around autism are being dismantled through scientific evidence and activism. The journey towards understanding autism has been complex and fraught with misinformation. Through the efforts of activists, positive change has been achieved, but there are still challenges faced by families and individuals living with autism. One of the most controversial treatments for autism is applied behavioral analysis, ABA. Developed in the 1960s by Ivar Lovis, it was known for its harsh treatments, including electrotherapy and corporal punishment. Over time, ABA has evolved to focus on one-on-one therapy sessions that teach social skills and promote desirable behaviors. Despite its popularity, critics argue that it's a form of human dog training that reinforces conformity. Another myth that has caused significant alarm is the link between vaccinations and autism. Andrew Wakefield's 1998 article linking the MMR vaccine to autism was discredited, yet the myth persists. Celebrities continue to promote the misconception, ignoring the tremendous evidence that refutes any association between vaccinations and autism. Through scientific evidence and activism, myths surrounding autism are being dismantled. While there is still much to learn, managing autism isn't about conformity, but rather, providing supportive environments where autistic individuals can thrive. Understanding autism spectrum. Autism is a condition that varies from individual to individual with no identifiable biological markers. The spectrum of behaviors ranges from severely disabled people to those who don't consider themselves disabled. Autism carries its own characteristics, traits, and qualities that some individuals see as admirable and should be respected rather than cured. The next steps towards a better tomorrow are working on a better understanding of the condition and confronting cruelty.
As we journey through the story of autism, we see how society's perceptions and treatments have evolved over time, from labeling the mentally ill as defective to the refrigerator mother theory that blamed mothers for their children's autism. We also witness the activism of parents like Ruth Sullivan and psychologists like Dr. Bernard Rimland, who defied prevailing beliefs and worked to create a more inclusive and accepting society for autistic individuals. While progress has been made, challenges persist, such as misconceptions about ABA therapy and the discredited connection between vaccinations and autism. The book urges everyone to continue searching for understanding, respect, and a brighter future for those on the autism spectrum.